Well, good morning. Thank you, Tony Pino. I'm grateful to be here this morning, and Governor Kellerman, and to all these incredible Rotarians from this very, very powerful district. You make a difference every day. Thank you for asking me to be with you this morning. I want to just say, and I'll frame this discussion as one that allows you to really understand that Rotary has been at the center of my world for the vast majority of my life. I try and live a life of service and gratitude, and I really learned how to embrace those values uh, because of Rotary. And let me just tell you a little bit about my journey. I think Tony said I had 25 minutes, but he suspended 20 of those. So I've only got about 5 or 6 minutes with you. But I want to do my best to tell you how Rotary has allowed me to become the person I am today. Rotary has really been at every turn in my life that has been a good turn. Let me just start out by saying I grew up in Valencia County, the way most young people grow up in New Mexico, unfortunately, which means I was in poverty. I had two parents who were disabled. I literally watched my father deteriorate before my very eyes. I buried my father when I was a teenager. He was 49 years old. He had muscular dystrophy. And from that moment on, I didn't have a single blood relative in the entire state of New Mexico. But I had my father's dream that I'd be the first in my family to go to college and break the cycle of poverty. And I owe a debt of gratitude to my community because community filled the gap and allowed me to live my father's dream. You see, when I say community filled the gap, what I really mean is organizations like Rotary filled the gap. Back in 1988, when I graduated, they didn't have the lottery scholarship. They didn't have access the way they try and have it today for students who are similarly situated. No, in fact, it was George Hobbs and the Rotary down in Valencia County that stood tall and said, we will stand with you on this journey to break the cycle of poverty and be the first in your family to go to college. I got that Rotary scholarship, but that wasn't the first touch. You see, the first touch was another student program that are so well supported by Rotary. See, I was selected for Camp Ryla. Unfortunately, I had obligations to go to Boys State and then Boys Nation, so I wasn't able to participate in Camp Ryla, but it inspired me to continue to be engaged, and it was that positive affirmation that is different than encouragement. So not only does Rotary provide encouragement, but it provides a positive affirmation on the journey. I got that scholarship from Rotary International, and it allowed me to go to New Mexico State University, where I graduated. And I was that first in my family to graduate. And let me just tell you that it made all the difference in the world when it comes to access. So when you're raising money for scholarships and things like that, know that it makes a difference and an impact in the lives of students like me. Because as I sit here before you today at 51 years old, I can tell you about the rest of the story. See, the rest of the story, Ryla's front and center, because my life changed dramatically 25 years ago, this August the 10th. I will celebrate my silver anniversary with my bride. And see, my bride came to this country 35 years ago as a Rotary International exchange student from the Philippines. So the greatest gift I've ever had in my life is my bride, and that was 25 years ago, and it all started with Rotary International. And she is now a United States citizen. She was naturalized many years ago, and we have a son. And you see, right after I graduated, I stopped living my father's dream, and I started living mine. And my dream was that I would graduate from New Mexico State University, got that finance degree. I was going to go to law school, and then I was going to live that life of service, of giving back to my community. And my dream was that I would serve in public office. And Rotary International, this district, has allowed me to now live my dream. And I've had 828 days of awesome serving New Mexico as its state auditor. But the best part of my story is the next generation. You see, I have a 23-year-old son. And that 23-year-old son, one generation out from that poverty, standing in line for blocks of cheese and powdered milk and living in Section 8 housing that I grew up in, one generation out because of scholarship from Rotary. I can tell you that my son graduated from Albuquerque High School. He got a presidential scholarship from George Washington University. He is now a graduate, a biomedical engineer, one generation out. One generation out. You have changed my family tree forever. And I'm telling you, you are doing this for young people each and every day with the programs that you're about to hear about on this panel. You are changing lives and family trees forever. As the incredible Luisa Sanchez said, necessity never stops. So I hope the work of Rotary never stops. I was most recently honored, and it sits right behind me. You can't see it because of my virtual background here, but here in my office, my home office, I can tell you that I very proudly display the certificate that says I'm a Paul Harris Fellow for Service. And that is, I've received some honors in my life, but few rise to the level of what it means to me to be a Paul Harris Fellow. I embrace the four-way test in everything that I do. I hope that I make Rotary proud, but today, I hope that you understand that I'm living proof that the work you do matters. And it doesn't just matter today, it doesn't just matter tomorrow, it matters for generations to come. So let me close with gratitude to say thank you to each and every one of the Rotarians here. Who knew when I was a little, Rotactor that work with Rotaract would lead to a scholarship. That scholarship would lead to the life I've had. And it's been a blessed journey, and you are a part of every bit of it. And every time that I do anything in my community, I do it with a full heart and with an opportunity to say thank you. So with that, I say thank you. There's my Paul Harris certificate right behind me, and know that I don't ever forget the impact that Rotary has had in my life. When you ask, the answer is always yes, and it will always be yes, because I've got that gratitude in my heart for the work you do every day as Rotarians. So thank you for having me, Tony Pino. Thank you, Governor Kellerman. Thank you to each of you for the difference you make. And let me just say, if you missed out on the break, Attorney Frechette, you just crush it. You really do bring that excitement and that exuberance to the work you do every day, regardless of whether it's professional or whether it's impact and service. You make a difference. Thanks to Yale Jones and so many Rotarians that have been a part of my journey that have allowed me to live my dream after living my father's dream. Thank you, Rotary. Keep up the great work in this district. I'm here for you every time you ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.